Internet! Hello, you lovelies, and welcome to the Speak No Evil non-spoiler review. This film is out in mere days, and it scared the crap out of me, and I'm very excited to talk about it. If you're new to this page, I do movie news and movie reviews, as well as comic news and comic reviews, so if you're into movies or comics and some TV, please hit that subscription bell. I'm trying to get 36K by or around my birthday. I turn 36 next week, and I really hope to hit 36K on the page this month, so please hit that subscription bell. Also, please like this video, especially if you like this movie or review. I want to know in the comments below if you've seen this movie, what you thought of the experience. It is one of those movies that I think will be talked about in certain circles, but I don't know if it's going to translate to the mainstream. So I know a lot of people have seen the trailer and complained about the amount of times they've seen it. I want to know what you think of the actual movie. Let me know in the comments below. Without any further ado, non-spoilers, let's talk about now. Speak No Evil is one of those movies that I would not have ordinarily seen on my own, but I was very lucky and I got to have a full hour-long conversation with James McAvoy at a MegaCon, and in that conversation he had just wrapped this film, and we talked so much about the physicality in a performance, and that physicality directly tied into this film, and it immediately got me like, well, now I have to see it, I have to understand, I have to know what he's talking about, because he was so proud of this performance, and he had just come off it. So after his performances in things like Split, and obviously, you know my love for X-Men. I think X-Men First Class is the closest to the X-Men comics that we've seen to date. But what he does with characters and the darkness he finds in them, and then the multitude of different characteristics, especially in Split, is astounding. And I think he absolutely does something really unique here.
Long time ago, where did you come from? Where did...
Oh, what is wrong with you?
Where he plays one character. He's not playing a multitude of characters trapped in one, but that one character is so layered and so fascinating, it almost feels like some of the more, you know, wider array of roles. The man is charm incarnate.
Yeah, isn't she? You should try.
Can we?
I won't call the fun police if you don't.
Okay.
With every bit of the fear and maliciousness you'd want from an antagonist-protagonist role like this. By the way, he's by no means the protagonist of the film, but he reads as a protagonist to another incredible duo of actors in Scoot McNairy and Mackenzie Davis.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah? Yeah. Done.
It's so quiet around here. I don't even have any neighbors.
Scoot McNairy is one of those actors that elevates, in my opinion, everything he's in. He is impossibly earnest. He's someone that you can connect to. He's got this everyman quality that is absolutely the heart of this film, in that you need someone to identify with, and then when they make mistakes, you need to feel like, man, I can kind of understand where he's coming from in making that mistake.
And I promise you guys, it could be a great weekend.
And that's this character to a T. Now, it's ironic, in doing interviews with these guys, you can check them out over at Real Rejects, if not today, then tomorrow. It was funny to find that James McAvoy described Scoot McNairy as the woodsman, as the guy that's capable of everything in much the way his character is, but he's playing the opposite. And finding out these two guys bonded over some of those things, while Scoot seems completely inept. He's so capable of playing this squirrely, nebulous, doesn't stand up for himself guy, that every part of you as a viewer sees your own insecurity in this man and sees the just trying to people please in this man. And then you've got Mackenzie, who is absolutely the voice of logic, the voice of don't do that, the voice of what is happening, that you as a horror movie viewer or a thriller movie, whatever category you want to place this in, is going to go, yeah, listen to her. And I love that she walks a line of authority, intelligence, and capable.
We can't let on. Yeah? We can't look stressed or scared. We just have to go out there and be completely normal.
Without being heavy-handed or too condescending. And that's a fine line when it's a matriarch of a household that's trying to protect her family with a patriarch of the household trying to defend, like, we gotta figure this out and keep it easy. Now, Scoot McNairy is absolutely making a ton of bad decisions here, but he plays it so well you understand where he's coming from. Mackenzie Davis is absolutely making the right decisions here, but you understand her wanting to be in support of her husband and wanting to also be a person that is patient with others. So you've got this amazing dynamic, and I'm so sorry I don't remember the woman's name who was married to James McAvoy in the film. It's the first time I've seen that actress. But you've got this couple who is making these insane decisions and doing this insane stuff opposite a couple that is just trying to have a vacation and trying to work on their relationship with their son. And it is a really interesting dynamic where, their daughter, and James McAvoy and his wife's son, where you're trying to understand parenting, you're trying to understand what it means to be responsible for your child, but also give them a bit of a leash to play and discover things. All of that while you've got two diametrically opposed viewpoints of the world, and every bit of this film is about building tension in what would you do in a situation like all good horror movies do. I love when a horror movie positions you as the viewer to go, what would you do here? Do you run up the stairs? Do you run up the door? Killer's in the house. What's your move? This is a much more realistic version of that, where the horrors are just as horrifying, but this is very tense conversations over dinner. This is conversations at vacation. This is talking about child rearing. This is talking about what it is to be a parent, but how terrifying that can be. And then actual horrors escalate from there.
17 years.
17 years.
Wow.
You get less for murder.
Another thing I really enjoyed is there's these incredible long sequences of dialogue and these long scenes that let themselves actually play out in almost a play-like way. There are completely dialogue-driven scenes that are psychologically terrifying, that is psychological horror, and you can identify with them in a way that I wouldn't have expected from this type of setting, this type of worldview, this type of anything, where they're describing things and you're like, yeah, I totally feel that way. And then you're like, I identify with a person making the bad decision, whether it's Scoot McNairy's character being too polite, or it's Mackenzie Davis's character trying to navigate appeasing her husband and her child, or even more terrifyingly, you start to identify with certain elements, in my case anyway, McAvoy's scene on the big open landscape of this like primordial rage yelling. And I totally I identified with where he was coming from, and that was terrifying. And it's a really beautiful litmus test for the viewer. I think it's a beautiful Rorschach test. It's a really capable way of seeing where you're at. And I think that is the highest praise I can give something, especially in the psychological genre.
I admire you. Louise is a great woman.
The movie is the most grounded, real thriller of this kind I've seen in years. I don't watch this type of movie often. Full disclosure, horror is not my jam. I love a psychological thriller, and I love that this blended psychological thriller elements into full-blown horror while casting incredibly. Without this cast, this movie doesn't work. Without the directing, this movie doesn't work, because there were 3 or 4 times I kept being like, everything's going great. I'm good here. I hope things don't go horribly wrong. And I know they do. I know what movie I'm setting myself up for. But the movie is so well directed, so well written. You really love the time you get to be at peace with these people. You just enjoy spending time with these people. And that makes it so much worse, because you see how these people get in the situation. You see how you're drawn into that pure charisma, and you see what darkness can become. And there's this pain in the anger and the rage of McAvoy. There's this totally trapped, but I have to go through with this in his wife. There's this absolute intensity to the pair of them, and this absolute complacency in Scoot McNairy and Mackenzie Davis that you identify with, and that makes it so much more horrifying, because every step of the way you're like, I kind of get how they got there, until the last act where things get larger than life, and even then you're like, man, this is so almost real. And I won't give away the ending, but it is very intense and it's very powerful, and I really, really am curious how people receive this film. I personally got a lot more out of it than I expected. Like I said, it's counter-programming for me. I went because circumstance. I went because of a conversation on stage that James McAvoy turned into, I had to check this out, which turned into me doing interviews. Like I said, check those out at Real Rejects, which turned into me actually wanting to get people's opinion on this film in something that I wouldn't have normally seen. So I hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed this review. I'm absolutely going to check out more of the director's work. I love the way he sees filmmaking. I love the way he sees storytelling. I've always loved Scoot McNairy. I'm a huge James McAvoy fan. Mackenzie Davis is one of those actresses, what she did with The Holiday Season, what she's done with all the roles where she shows this connection to her entire supporting cast, elevates the it's almost like a play. The work, the dynamic, and all those things are really on display here. So very impressed with this work. The 2 kid actors are outstanding. The setting is absolutely captivating. It's all the things you want in a movie, especially a thriller, to make you believe and to make your heart race as if you're living it. It is very immersive, and that's all you can hope for. Again, let me know in the comments below what you thought, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. It is a solid BB plus for me, and that is very high for something that is not my usual enjoyment of film. Enjoyment goes a long way in my rating and my experience. I don't do, the formal critic reviews, because enjoyment's a huge part of it, and I enjoyed this so much more than I expected, even though I was traumatized. So, hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave things, press buttons. Much love. I'll see you soon. Bye.